Hello and welcome to Bendy, a podcast about being flexible in all of the ways that means. Thanks for joining us. My name is Andy Young and I'm one of your haggling, bartering hosts. Joining me as always is our other haggling and bartering host, Beth Martin. Beth, a pleasure as always. What's the crack?
I have so much to share, but I'm gonna...
I think I do too.
Okay, can we talk about Mike Tyson and Jake Paul?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So, did you watch the fight?
No, I didn't watch the fight.
I totally did.
Did you?
Well, it's like, we always watch the fights.
Yeah, fair enough.
My dad was a boxer, so we always watch the fights. And like,
I think I knew that.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. So, like, I saw, like, live when it was happening, the Holyfield Tyson fight where he bit his ears off. Yeah.
Wow.
So, it's just, and like Mike Tyson's Punch Out on the original NES, and like all these, it's just, he's such a part of American
culture,
fabric. Like he was in The Hangover and he's got the tattoo on his face and like pioneered that. Now everyone's got tattoos on their faces. And like, granted, he's got skeletons in his closet that we all know about. But it was just like, I just wanted the kids to see like a fighter and boxing and like, so for those who don't know, Tyson did not win.
Yep.
And Jake Paul did. And so, I've been doing like a hemorrhaging deep dive into Jake Paul's life and trying to figure out was it fixed?
Yeah.
There's
a lot of suspicion that it was.
Yeah. Do they know each other? How did this even happen? And I have some thoughts, but
it was quite, so like, I mean, like, I, think Jake Paul's absolutely a fucking garbage person, like, basically, in terms of my experience of him. Mm-hmm. But like, there's certain things about him that it's like genuinely, like, he has been wrestling for a number of years as well, and he's genuinely a good wrestler, and it stalks how good a wrestler he is because, like, he is such a douchebag. But
he's doing UFC, wrestling, and boxing. And he's only been doing this for like 3 years. Yeah. And he keeps winning all of his fights. He's lost one fight. He's lost one
but
match.
like, I don't think he's fought anybody like at his age at a legitimate level, really, has he? I think like it's only been like UFC fighters, or he fought Conor McGregor, who is a MMA fighter in like a boxing match or something like that, wasn't it? So like, I think his fights are like more like showcases than legitimate contests. Would be my opinion.
So I don't really know the rules of like middleweight or lightweight, middleweight, heavyweight boxing, or like, I don't know the progression. I don't know if you can just challenge somebody. I don't really know, because it's part sport but also part like show business.
Show, it is so true.
Yeah. So I'm unclear on that, but he's actually fighting fighters and like people that, actual boxers, actual MMA fighters, and like so I've been watching and reading, and like he's really good at what he does. Yeah. And
that is true.
Infuriating as that is, and I think it's like he keeps being I'm like totally I'm sorry everyone, but I'm like raising the roof for Jake Paul.
Oh, wow, okay.
Well, he did. He went from like, sorry, what's happening? It must be like
right.
Christmas and nothing is working in my brain.
Sure.
But like, he went from a YouTuber. He's done it with YouTube, and he's put all of his time and effort and money into like really trying to do this. And what do I do once I'm done with YouTube? And he didn't really have any direction, was like, maybe I'll try this out. And like all of his trainers and even his opponents are just like, you're really good at this. This is something you can do.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But they're also, he and his brother are living in Puerto Rico because there's like, the rumors are that they traffic guns and women. So there's that.
Cool guy. Yeah. I mean, like,
cool guy.
It really wouldn't surprise me.
I know.
because one of the things my friend sent me this because we were chatting about it, and so like in his wrestling thing, like he's a heel ostensibly, so we I don't know whether you remember like heels or bad guys.
Yeah,
and,
but he does that purpose. He recognizes that
no one
likes him, and he plays into that.
Yeah,
and I think he even said, even if I beat Mike Tyson, everyone's gonna say that that won't matter. That won't matter.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If
yeah,
I beat him or
I
don't beat him, it doesn't matter because no one will like me or no one will like give me any respect over this.
That's interesting level of insight. A surprising level of insight, honestly. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. Anyways,
but he was on a podcast and talking to so Rey Mysterio's son is not Rey Mysterio. Eddie Guerrero's son, apologies, Dom is a wrestler now, and he's a heel, and he's been this great heel for ages. And he was like on a podcast with Jake Paul talking about a trip to Japan that WWE had taken, and was like, why weren't you there? And like knowing full well why he wasn't there, because like he's upset, he's like essentially banned from Japan for like shit he pulled.
Oh yeah,
You know about this?
I do. The Suicide Forest.
Yes. And it really got under his skin, and it was awesome. he just like it was like a real interview as such, but like he was like Dom Guerrero was fully doing a heel move and like really kind of prodding him, and I was like, oh, this rocks. I've never seen this happen before. So yeah, that was great.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, there's a forest in Japan where a lot of people will go and commit suicide. It's a really awful way to break it down, but and Jake Paul basically went there to find a dead body, and he did.
Yeah.
And then he put it on YouTube, and everyone's like, that's so disrespectful.
Yeah.
It was either him or his brother, I can't remember, but they're like
so
tied together.
Yeah, I always struggled to separate the two.
Yeah, I never really I didn't know anything about them at all until the fight, so I just kind of pushed that away. So now I'm like, I'm 3 or 4 years behind everyone in anything. Okay, the other thing is I went to New York City.
Ooh.
I did. And I saw Oh Mary.
Yeah.
It was amazing. The Book of Mormon, and I saw McNeil starring Robert Downey Jr.
Ooh. Oh, you were talking about that? Nice.
And so I was 5 feet away from Robert Downey Jr. We were like, I could have spit on him and shared germs.
Nice. I'm like, I got COVID from Robert Downey Jr. I love it. That was awesome. What was your favorite of the three?
I can't say because they're so different.
Okay. But they were all
enjoyable
experiences.
It was amazing. And I guess like at any time there's about 40 to 50 Broadway shows going on. So it's like I could have spent, a month there. The new Back to the Future. They've got Harry Potter and the Cursed Child. I just love Broadway, so.
I love it. Yeah, it's great to be there, and it's nice to. And also, Beth sent me a video from what was it called?
The Stardust Diner. That was breakfast. Yeah. We were eating eggs.
Really?
Yeah.
So we talked about, I think, the podcast before, but it's essentially a diner. I'd say filled with actors and singers who work there as wait staff, and they burst into song every now and again. So Beth sent me a video of it, and I was like, this is where I need to work whenever I move to America.
Yeah, it's like literally like a guy standing on the tables, and he's wearing sunglasses, and he's singing New York, New York, and there's confetti cannons going off and like a disco ball.
My dream.
Yeah.
I love it. Incredible.
Yeah.
How about
good
you? Times. Yeah, so like as you probably guessed, so because I'm gonna do something similar to what Beth did here. We haven't talked to each other in a while, so
I know. It's like this is catch up.
It's like
catch up. I know, and this. And
so
this.
excited. So okay.
Thanks.
What I did, so what I've done. So okay, right. Okay, what's crack is with me is that I want to see Idols. Have you heard of Idols? Do you know who they are? So they're definitely a British band, but I know that they
Idols or Idols.
Idols is in IDLES.
Huh.
So So they are they're a British band. I know they've got some traction in the US. I don't know how big they are, but they are like very much a bunch of left wing, woke cocks, etc., etc. They're
woke
so
what?
Like, lots of cocks, like a cuckold.
Oh
God.
That means
so
something
like that's
different
been
here, maybe.
No, it means exactly the same thing,
Okay.
but it is often used as a slight against, kind of like how soft left-wing guys are, that they would let their wives be cocked in front of them.
Gotcha.
So, yeah,
Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
anyway.
All right.
So anyway, they have like a song about immigrants and how lovely they are and things like that, and there was a chant halfway through, like a ceasefire now chant halfway through about Israel and stuff like that, just to show you where they are politically.
Gotcha. Okay.
And also to kind of just so like they were fantastic, because it was like the first show I've been to in a while. The energy was fantastic. There was a Belfast band on before them I'd never heard before. They were also great. Just a really lovely night, and I saw lots of people that I knew. Great to be out for a gig, because I haven't been to one for ages. So the final thing, just to say completely to set up what sort of band they are, I got a band t-shirt, said Idols along the top. It had a picture of a tiger leaping forwards with a lightning bolt behind it. And below it said, Idols, hard rock for pussies. And I'm like, perfect. Almost my perfect concert t-shirt.
Uh-huh. Did you buy it?
Of course I bought it, yeah. I should have worn it tonight. I'll wear it next time. So yeah, that was fantastic. I also did, it's already Christmas dinner season, so I went to my first Christmas dinner, which was nice. I was talking to Beth a little bit about this post-pod. It was nice, but I'm also kind of like, I'm already starting to feel the SAD, as we discussed last week, and it was a bit of an overwhelming social experience, I found, but it was still very nice, and it was good to like, it's good to get talking to people that you would never normally talk to, because in yoga all too often it's rare, well, not entirely rare, but it is rare you actually get talking to people. But it was nice, and it was good, and the food was excellent as well, which makes a big difference. I then, following night, so, the way, like, I don't really like guy shit for the most part, right? Mm-hmm. But like, I don't know whether you know this about me, but I love a martial arts film. And, like a good one anyway. And one of my favourites is a movie called The Raid. It's about... I think at least 12, 13 years old now. It's brutal. It's like a hard R. It's like, but it's just like a 90-minute long movie, immaculately put together. Fight choreography is like second to none. The kind of story clips along. It's so quickly. It's and really well like edited, and music's fantastic. So. It was being shown. I've been thinking about this film recently, and it was being shown as part of this like action series in this art house cinema that I go to. And ahead of time, I wanted to see it anyway, but ahead of time they were advertising that they were going to do a live combat simulation beforehand, and I was like,
"Oh my gosh,
I need to see this. I don't know what this is. I need to see it." And it was basically just two guys who advised movies on like stunts and things like that, and them doing like how to describe it, I guess like a sort of play fight is makes me sound like I'm demeaning it, but it was kind of just like if this was in a movie, we threw together this fight, and it was more fun than I was expecting it to be, but it lasted 30 seconds to maybe a minute.
Like, we don't actually want to hurt each other.
No, it's just a lot of people standing around with their arms crossed going, oh, okay. But just a wonderful... If anybody likes martial arts movies and hasn't seen The Raid, I strongly recommend it. It is a very good time, though a very violent movie, I would say, but it's one of my favourites.
I would say like my top two for like not guilty pleasure, but just like the ones I like. The Last Dragon.
Sure.
And Kung Fu Hustle.
Yeah, Kung Fu Hustle rocks.
The kids like that one. I haven't shown them The Last Dragon yet. There's also like, yeah, I can, yeah. And there's also like,
Shadow and Soccer and stuff like that by the same director as did. But yeah, it's great fun, that one though. But yeah, so I think that's everything from What's the Crack. Do you have any
I'm
occurring?
going to Mexico.
Ooh.
Tomorrow.
Nice. For how long?
4 days.
Okay.
So first time we're gonna, like where I dropped you at the border, we're driving across that.
Nice.
And then so we're going like 2 hours south to this little town called Ensenada, which is the home of the margarita.
Ooh.
I know. So I guess I'll be drinking some tequila.
You got to.
I gotta.
I mean,
like you know me,
I
like food and famous food. Like I'm trying to convince you to go to the Caesar salad restaurant in Tijuana, and you're like, yeah.
Like,
I can't believe he's not doing this.
Yeah. Like, I need to go.
I'm gonna go, and then I'll send you a picture, and you'll be like, oh,
okay,
that looks amazing.
I mean, like, I really thought I wasn't going to drink any tequila when I was in Mexico because I'm not the biggest fan of it. But then, like, I found out how good it was, and I was like, oh shit, yeah. Had I not been getting back the way I got back, I would have brought a bottle with me because it was fantastic. But yeah, that'll be awesome.
Occurring, I do have something occurring.
Okay.
I just want to thank the folks that rated us on Apple Podcasts, and if anybody else would like to do that, that would be awesome. But thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a slight update from a recent-ish episode. So, my sister informed me that at sleepovers she did stiff as a board, light as a feather.
Okay, good.
So it is something that we do over here. It's just not something that, you know, macho guys like myself would have done.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So it's, I think,
and there
that's interesting that it's like more gender related.
Yeah. Yeah.
I won't even tell you the rumors of what little boys or boys do at sleepovers.
Oh God. Yeah. No. That's not good there. It's not that kind of show, right? Yeah. So. All right. So shall we get on to our topic for this week?
I think we should.
I've just called it Black Friday, which is like, I think fine, but like, you know, we may update that, so you may see a different title whenever you see it, but like, because I don't want to dance around what it's actually about, because I think it's an interest that, you know, the very concept of it is interesting in and of itself.
Yeah. So I did a little surface dive about the history of Black Friday.
Oh,
so,
okay.
Because I was like, where does this come from? Where did it start? Where did it originate? Basically, it's okay. You know how I'm always like, I wish America would invent things.
Yeah.
Well, we invented Black Friday.
Okay, nice.
You're welcome, world. So, 1951 was the first known use of Black Friday as being so we have Thanksgiving here.
Yes.
Thanksgiving is basically the way I was taught in school, was that it was a day when we thank the Pilgrims and the Native Americans for coming together and having a feast. And now that story is very different, just based on the fact that people did their research and figured out that, no, we killed most of the Native Americans with smallpox. So, but what it's morphed into is everyone eats this sort of preset meal that involves a turkey and usually like green bean casserole and then like cranberries in a can. And then everyone watches football. Yay. And then the day after, like, it's open season on Christmas. So, like, what you were saying where, like, your Christmas parties have started, that doesn't happen here until the day after Thanksgiving. Yeah. Okay, so basically, Black Friday in the 50s was referring to the fact that, like, so many people would call in sick the day after Thanksgiving so that they could have a 4-day weekend. And then around the same time, the terms Black Friday and Black Saturday came to be used by the police in Philadelphia and Rochester to describe the crowds and the traffic congestion that started with the Christmas shopping season.
I see.
And then in the 80s, retailers were like, oh, marketing, we could use this, because
Yes.
Because basically, like, the way that their bookkeeping and profits work, they're operating in a loss all the way up until holiday shopping starts, and then that's when they make all their profit for the whole year.
Yeah.
So that sucks, obviously, because then it means that we all get thousands of emails and texts about Black Friday. So basically, businesses are no longer in the red; they're in the black. Get it?
Yeah. I see.
And
That's
then
another,
it
yeah.
actually well, we can get into like when it starts, but like, yeah, most people have Friday off, and Black Friday technically begins Thursday night at midnight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a few questions. Are you finished? Because I
Yes,
have a few
that's
questions.
the history. Okay.
So I'll allow it. Thank you so much.
You're
That was great.
welcome.
So is Thanksgiving always on a Thursday?
Yes.
Okay. So how does it? It's just the last Thursday of November, is it?
Yep.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yep.
I don't think I knew that. So it's not a fixed date like Christmas, for example.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's always the last Thursday, and you all, like, schools are out for that week, and most people have that Friday off. You know.
Yes.
Not everyone, obviously, retailers.
Yes.
But most people have that 40 weekend.
Okay. So that makes sense. So that kind of like, I suppose it's like the relationship, maybe traditionally, I don't know, of, actually I'm talking bollocks, but I'll still continue on with this thought, of like Christmas Day and Boxing Day in this country, where it was like Christmas Day was like the celebration thing and Boxing Day was like about gifts and stuff, but I think it was more about giving gifts rather than buying gifts, so, the analogy kind of holds up, right?
Right.
Well, give me a pass. Also, the other question I had was green bean casserole. What's in it exactly?
Cream of mushroom soup, green beans,
Okay.
and then you guys have French's onions.
Oh, crispy ones?
Uh-huh. And then you pour those on top, you stick it in the oven and warm it up. So it's like probably from the 1950s when, 60s, when they were like, women, you can have it all by using Campbell's condensed cream of mushroom soup.
Okay.
For all your dinners.
I like it.
Yeah.
The other one that I always really liked, the idea of, it just, speaks to my child tastes, is candied yams, or...
Yeah.
Because like literally the ones I think of are in one of the Spider-Man movies, which is like they've got like marshmallows and stuff on them.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yep. So it's like candied yams. So it's like yams with, I don't know. There's like a way to do it. Some cinnamon and something, butter, and butter, and then you put marshmallows on it. You put it in the oven, melt it, warm it, and then you eat it.
That's not right. Is that served as a side with turkey and stuff? That's to be on the plate with
stuffing,
wow.
which goes in the turkey up its butt. It's really appetizing. Then you open the butt, and then you scoop it out, and then you put it on your plate.
Oh man, okay, yeah, great.
Next time you come, maybe we'll make a Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be curious. Yeah. I must say.
I mean, we don't do Thanksgiving in my family. Yeah. I grew up doing Thanksgiving, but like no one in our house likes turkey.
Yeah.
So then it just became, well, what do you guys want to eat? And the kids are like, tacos, meatloaf. So yeah. Usually we just have tacos. And this year I'm definitely having tacos, so I won't even be in the country.
Yeah.
Okay. So Black Friday.
Yeah. So I was, because it's some of the things that I feel like it was something that we were aware of in this country, but it wasn't really a thing here. And I think it was only with the kind of advent of Amazon becoming so big and Black Friday becoming almost like an international thing that it started becoming a bigger deal. So like, so then it became a point where actual legitimate UK companies would have Black Friday deals and have done for, it's got to be like between 10 20 years now, I'd say, that I'd say within the last 10 years it has become quite a big deal, in that you see a lot of advertising for it and all over the place. But I'd say it was like trickling in over before that. But here's something that you might find interesting, and there were people in this country who would build a holiday to the US around Black Friday. Right? Yeah. So like they would buy tickets to go out and shop basically in New York or like somewhere like that for, right?
I'm so sorry.
Is that scandalizing? But I was like, whoa, okay. So like literally, and I kind of always kind of, I mean, like I knew some of the people that did that, and it was like that is the least appealing sound. Like I couldn't imagine a holiday I would want less than going somewhere to shop. To be perfectly honest with you, but some people love shopping, you know. So like, you know, and I guess I don't think it's as much a case now. It's something I want to talk about where, you know, the deals were incredible for a time. You could legitimately get great deals. So I can kind of understand that if shopping's important to you.
But like if you're paying for hotels and flying somewhere, like I don't.
I know. And I suppose they're going for the experience as well. And again, I know some people actually legitimately get kicks out of being in another country and shopping in another country. But like again, to me, it's kind of like I can shop anywhere. I don't need, if I'm in a different country, I want to do something that I can only do in that country if possible, to be honest with you, rather than, you know, going to a shop.
Yeah. You know, I'm not a big shopper either, but I will say, like, because I've worked in retail for Black Friday, which we'll get into, like experiencing Black Friday in America is a thing.
Yeah.
It is an experience.
Whether
it's a good or bad experience is another part of our discussion.
Because certainly what our awareness of it, like, I mean, like, I remember seeing, like, I mean, you see a lot of, like, news stories of, like, people losing their fucking
I tried to find
over,
some
like,
headlines.
Yeah. As did I.
And
like,
it's all like,
it.
You know, fight in blank city over blank toy, and, like, you know, police were called. And basically, yeah.
That's, like, yeah, because like I remember like the ones where they had maybe 20 TVs that were, you know, $20 or whatever, and people were like, you know the fighting that would be involved to get these TVs, and it was wild.
Yes.
It kind of, I don't know why it made me think of it. The fighting was the yeah, I'm sure you know the Florida Man concept.
Oh yeah,
and
there's a show now called Florida Man.
Wow, really? But the search you can do where you type in your birthday and Florida Man, and there's like normally a headline from your birthday. That's so good. Anyway, sorry, I digress. But you know, do you think within sort of your lifetime and your knowledge of it, there was a time when it was actually like good and actually a good time, legitimately good time to shop, or has it always been a fairly sort of, you know, cynical kind of grab for people's money?
You know, I have a friend that I went to like middle school with, and like I know that she goes every year with her mom. It's like their thing. Mm-hmm. They have Thanksgiving, and then they're like in line at 3 a.m, and it's their thing that they love to do together. So I don't want to like that's part of the experience, right? It's like you get to hang out, unless you're you know, a psycho and you like to do these things by yourself. But it's kind of like there's camaraderie in it. Everyone's in line. They're excited.
Straight.
You know, we wouldn't make fun of someone like in line at 3 a.m. to get tickets for Star Wars, because that's cool.
Absolutely.
That's something that's really cool. But
yes.
But like it's a thing, right? So
yeah.
But I did, so I worked at a toy store in the mall in college for like 3 weeks. And I quit after Black Friday because it was the year of Tickle Me Elmo and the Razor Scooter when those just came out. And no one could get them. And it was like before Amazon. So it's like you had to physically go somewhere to get the thing. So we had to show up at 3 a.m. We opened the doors at 4. And it was like my job to stand there and hand out those big black lawn trash bags.
So people could like shop with them?
Shop with them, yeah. Shove things in the giant bags. And it was like people were yelling, pushing, you know, it was like we opened the doors and they like ran into the store and were just like grabbing as much as they could as fast as possible. And I was just like, what the fuck is happening around me right now?
So would there be a mass of people waiting at 4 a.m. to go? Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No, we had like, you know, the ropes and stanchions.
Yeah.
Like directing people.
They would just be.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would say we had a line of probably like 150 people before the doors opened.
That's wild.
Yeah. And I guess like, I think in terms of like that type of activity, it happens every year. Maybe a little bit less because more people can shop online.
Yeah.
But okay, so I'm gonna go in a little bit. I watched this documentary. It's called Buy Now: The Shopping Conspiracy, and they're just talking about like basically how much Amazon basically, because Amazon has created their whole model around being there when you decide to buy an item. They want to be there, right? So you're like, oh, I need, you know, boy, I need a new pillow. This one sucks, right? And they're there because they're on your phone, and you're like, oh, I'm going to order a pillow. Who am I going to order it from? I'm going to order it from Amazon. So, it's kind of that concept of like getting whatever you want whenever you want it, which is driving our consumption.
Yeah.
And so everything around Black Friday, it's like no one really cares if they're getting a deal anymore. They just want to tap that button and get that thing and get that feeling that you get when you buy something. And you're like,
that hit.
Sure, yeah. Because I get it. I totally do.
Yeah.
I get that hit, and I'm like, and it's like I get a little high because I know I don't have to go to like the store and go out in public.
Yeah, that's the best.
I know.
Yeah.
It feels so good. So yeah, I guess like there's the good and bad where you know you get the social interaction but you don't really anymore, or maybe you get a deal but you don't really anymore. So I think it's sort of like becoming just this day where you just buy shit, whether or not you get a deal on it. I don't think it matters to people.
I think that's true, and yeah, like because you know certainly in terms of, these were always in limited supply, but in terms of like my visibility of genuine deals, I just don't see them anymore. Like you'll see like slight reductions and like you know some of the stuff, and I've had a few things that I've been thinking about buying. And I've been kind of sitting, you know, waiting to see if things would come down in price, and then it's like, oh, Black Friday, 5% off, and I'm like, oh, whoa, holy shit, guys, what an incredible day! Like, you know, like I find it quite good, if I'm looking for inspiration for people to like buy things, to like go through deals and like see if there's anything that catches my eye or like I have knowledge of that's like, oh, that would be a good fit for this person. Like look at different categories, but yeah, by and large, it's like, I think it's exactly what you were talking about the fact that for a long time shops had to wait until Christmas season before they started making any money, and it's like, well, how do we move that forward a wee bit? You know, how do we start making this money ASAP?
And I think that's why that's probably why you're attending Christmas parties now.
Yeah,
it's because
it's true.
They're like, it's already being pumped in. You know, it's Christmas season, which happened probably before Halloween because it did here. Yeah,
it did. There was definitely Christmas stuff on shelves before Halloween, I would say, and like as soon as Halloween is over in this country, it's essentially you're kicking into Christmas season. It's starting, you know.
So it's like that's a long time.
Like 2 months basically, which is nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Nuts.
So
yeah.
So do you get a lot of advertisements for Black Friday?
Yes, but okay, I'm not the best person for it because I don't really see adverts anymore. Like I go out of my way to avoid them. Literally the only adverts I see these days are on YouTube, and I definitely have seen some Black Friday ads there. But like to the extent that, you know, the cinema that I go to is 5, maybe 10 minutes from my house. So if I'm going to the cinema the cinema to see something these days, I essentially leave at showtime. so I leave the house at showtime. So by the time I get in,
All the
I'm normally
previous commercials are over.
I've seen maybe a few trailers, but by and large, I'll miss all the advertisements because I think what happened to me because like whenever I stopped watching TV and seeing ads as much, like my brain kind of like reconditioned itself. And I was speaking to a friend about this, and I may have vocalized this in the podcast before, but it's like my brain feels like it's being assaulted now whenever I see an advertisement, because just I don't know, it's the whole sort of you need this thing in your life because if you don't have it you'll be worse than other people.
Right.
I find that it's just so like toxic and awful. So I kind of struggle to kind of like digest them, I guess.
I totally understand. Because we got rid of cable, so we have like Netflix, and we pay for all the channels individually because we're idiots. But the kids don't see commercials ever, so they get excited. Yeah. They're like, "Oh, commercials! Can we watch them?" And I'm like, "Ugh."
Yeah.
Like, why would you want to do that? But then I started like, it was like a deodorant commercial, and I'm like, I just started like mumbling what they were actually saying. It's like, "You smell bad. You smell like shit. Yep. Wear this so you don't smell bad." And Herb was like, "What?" I'm like, "They're selling you deodorant." So that's essentially what they're saying.
Yeah.
So I was like, you got to try and figure out what the underlying message is to these. But it's like the way that they, it's like, buy this thing. It's like the tone is different. They want to grab your attention. They make it annoying so that you have to look, kind of thing. Yep. And that the psychology behind that pisses me the fuck off.
100%. I think we even talked about in our sales episode before where I'm like, they I think it was in the 60s or 70s they realized that like miserable people or people who like feel less are more likely to buy more. And like my feeling in that was collectively everybody should have said, well, we all have to agree that we're never going to do that, right? Instead, what happened was they turbocharged right into that, and like that's what most advertising is. I do have a big problem with that, but like what stuff that I really hate, and like Christmas is such a good example of it, is the whole sort of stuff that preys on like sentimentality, or like it's because there's an Amazon ad on here at the minute, and it's like a guy, and the song is playing is what the world needs now is love, sweet love, and it's a guy who's a janitor, right, and he opens the door of his locker. And there's a picture of him in like a suit singing in front of an audience, and like he's singing the song, and all the other people around him as their workers are like, "Oh, this guy's a singer," and all this. So they're in Amazon buying him like a suit and like a microphone, and like at the end they put him up on stage singing a song, and I'm like, this is awful. This is awful. The level of manipulation here is kind of off the charts,
Yeah, I just looked at Amazon while you were saying that. It's like I clicked on home and it's like Black Friday, Black Friday. I'm curious to see if they're advertising. And then so I'm also like, it's interesting because I'm wondering if at a certain point Amazon Prime will be more of like a draw than Black Friday.
That's a good question.
Like I was at the dentist and they were like, "Oh, you should get a water pick. Wait until Prime Day and you can get it for like 30% off or something." And so it's like Amazon doesn't even need Black Friday at this point.
No, absolutely not. But I guess they know that they can like, I mean, any of those sorts of things, they absolutely have to like march to the beat of that drum because they know that people will be lining up to buy more things off them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just looked at the front page myself, and I mean, like, I had been looking through stuff there earlier, and it is just Black Friday, and deals, and it's also like deals based on things that you've looked at in the past while, blah blah blah. It's really kind of targeted.
Monsters. Yeah. So like, I think retail in general, it's like even when it's so full of garbage, literally, like. For like that go in landfills and in the ocean, and it's like, but it's like when you go I need some black t-shirts or whatever, you go to the store like and you see all the shirts hanging on hangers, I've worked in retail, so I know that every single one of those shirts came in a plastic bag and they came in a box. So it's like the amount of boxes and plastic bags that, all of these retailers use is insane. It's insane.
Yeah.
Or you'll get stuff shipped to you from a company and that'll be in the plastic bag that's labeled and it's like everything is in a bag, in a bag, in a bag. And I don't know if I understand why, but like I will say I think that we don't get deals anymore because when you're in that environment, you buy things that you wouldn't have bought, but you're like, I'm here, so I should probably like get it. It's a good deal. So I think the amount of shit that we're purchasing is definitely increased. Not relative to the amount of shit that we actually need. And like, obviously there's the environmental aspect of that, but there's also the social aspect of that where, at least in America, we buy so much shit from other countries.
Yeah.
So like the poverty cycle around that and people getting paid very little for the things that we're buying, and that is, keeps that cycle going. So it's just like in general, I guess I wish people would look at this a little bit more. And maybe I've told you this, but I actually actively try not to buy anything or spend money on Black Friday.
Good for you.
Yeah. And I didn't know that that's a thing. So it's called Buy Nothing Friday. And I was already doing that. But it's just like the inner like hippie in me or whatever is just like, stick it to the man. I'm not going to buy anything and I'm going to hurt your bottom line. And I'm saving it all to buy on Saturday or whatever. But it's like a movement where people are actually trying not to buy anything at all.
I kind of hope that. I love that idea conceptually, but I kind of also hope that the Buy Nothing movement has merchandise for sale. Just for the ultimate,
and if not, we should make it ourselves.
Let's get on to that right now. I think that's great, and it's it's commendable, and I will bet there are guys in rooms in places sitting around a table going, how do we get the Buy Nothing people to start buying stuff on Black Friday? Do you know what I mean? Like the advertisers that are working to make that happen,
Okay, I'm looking to see if I can get a deal on the Buy Nothing t-shirts on Black Friday.
Do it. Let's go. Get in there fast. I feel like this is a joke that was done for something else, but I can't think what I'm pulling it from. I don't know. But yeah, it's like the there's no Bill Hicks joke. This is not what I'm thinking of. Where he talks about like the recluse club or whatever, having a meeting and nobody else is there. Anyway, I think that. I use it as an opportunity, I guess, to I struggle sometimes to pinpoint ideas for people for Christmas gifts, and I find like scrolling through like list of things that are on offer, it is a curated list, maybe curated for the wrong reasons, but curated in terms of what's cheap, and I can sometimes find inspiration for that, and or inspiration like a jumping off point from that.
Who do you buy for?
I buy for family, and I buy for a few friends who I've got a few friends who we've always kind of bought for each other, and I don't think that'll change. I don't mind it too much because it tends to be like stuff. So I have a friend, and we're both really into comic books, so we tend to buy each other comic books, and I fucking love that. Give me new comic books all day long. I'm delighted with that. I have another friend into board games. We tend to give each other board games. I'm always happy with the board game as well, and it's nice to get something too much of adult. I do like a nice gift, and I also, because I find Christmas fairly depressing, I do kind of like to get something fun as well, because all too often as an adult, it's like, here's a pair of socks, and you're like, oh hooray, it's the fucking woohoo. I mean, I need socks and everything, but it's like, this just makes a depressing day even more depressing. So yeah, but I also like what I just I'm not doing it this year because she's like in the midst of a move, but I will often send my Japanese friend a gift box, and what's fun is just getting like a load of like Japanese stuff, and she gets a load of stuff from the UK, so that's kind of, there's a bit of novelty there, you know. So yeah, but not many people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, fleeing the country for 3 weeks to a month made that easy. This is our first year that we're here. We're not leaving. And my in-laws are coming, so we're doing the whole like real Christmas thing, because it would just be like, you know, the kids would go and we'd all like, they'd get something for either Mike or me, and then a thing for each other, and then Santa would bring them 2 presents each, and that was it. And we'd like go, and it wasn't like anything, and then we just go about our normal day.
Like it.
But we're doing the whole tree and the stockings, and so I have to buy for people, and I'm a little annoyed.
Yeah, I understand that completely. It's a grand task, and it's also kind of like, if I am like I can be quite a good gift buyer, I think.
You are really good at buying gifts, unless
yes,
it has to do with wolves, but that's fine.
And then I'm the best ever gift buyer. Like I think because you know I care about the people in my life, and I listen to them, and I know what they like and what they don't like. I think I'm pretty so like, but like I'm not always in a good headspace to serve that well. But if I am, I can be quite a good gift buyer. But yeah, it's just tough, and it's like, it's also kind of like, I mean, I've absolutely given gifts to people, and they've been like, what the fuck? And you're kind of like, oh my god, what have I done, you know? So yeah,
I get gifts like that where I'm just like,
Fine.
I'm really, but I think I'm okay at buying gifts. I just don't enjoy it.
Yeah.
You know, and like I'm really, you know, I have people in my life that are very good gift givers and are really thoughtful, and I'm just like, wow, that was like, put a lot of effort and thought into that.
Yeah.
But it's just not my love language. I don't want more stuff. I don't really, like, I'm not a consumer of, I would rather have an experience than like get a gift.
So, and that is something that we've started to do with my parents over the past few years, because they want actually some time with my sister and I. So we just arranged to do something with them, you know, at another time. Essentially, like, we give them something in the day, but like, by and large, we are just planning to have a day together in the future, and I definitely agree with that. Like, I mean, and like, you know, that even feeds into the sort of stuff that I want as well, in terms of, you know, as much as I like, you know, so much of the stuff that I enjoy, like a board game, whatever, is something that I can do with friends. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's something that will give me experiences in the future, you know.
Yeah, I'm just annoyed.
Yeah. About having to do gifts.
Yeah, just this concept that like, that I have to spend money, and it's like, because of this not arbitrary holiday, but kind of is, right?
Yeah, it is. Oh yeah.
And that so much is built around spending money that you don't have on things that people don't need. And I even have kids, dude, and like, so like the fun and the magic is built in there, and I'm still like struggling.
Because like, that's what I said to you as well whenever I was over for Charlie's birthday, and it was like, I loved watching him open his gifts. It was very exciting. It was like, this is the best, most birthday-ish I felt in years.
Yeah.
So like, I think there's something magical about that for sure. But you know, it's hard not to, whenever you grow old, like, really see the pattern of like, okay, we're in the Halloween phase, now we're in the Christmas phase. After that, we're going to be gearing up for Valentine's Day. Then Easter's going to be coming up, and also there may be other bridging things in there, but it's just basically okay, how do we sell things to people? Okay, what selling season is this?
And I think a lot of it, like the basis of it, you know, is based on religion, and that, but then it turned into something else, right? And that's the hard. I just think it's like a way to keep us busy when it's dark out.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
So
keep us distracted.
yeah, from our seasonal depression disorder.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks. If we could just give us these very, very brief dopamine hits that last 5 seconds, and then you're just chasing that again and again. And it's like, okay, well, you know, I've got those dopamine hits. I've had several of them. I'm now severely in debt. Hooray!
Yeah,
I guess.
Do you want something equally sad? So the Guardian revealed that in 2017, a diesel truck left an Amazon fulfillment center every 93 seconds at peak Black Friday delivery times. 93 seconds. Go.
That sucks. Yeah,
right?
Exactly. I mean, you know, good, you know, Amazon.
And we live, did I tell you this? We live by a distribution center. It's like 20 minutes that way. So it's like, you know, you drive by it and it's like all the vehicles are all Amazon vehicles. Now they're e-vehicles.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know. I wonder how far they're going to take it. Have you heard that they want to start delivering stuff with like...
drones?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they will.
It's going to be like in the Mockingbird movies. What is it? What are those? The Hunger Games, where all the little packages are going to come by like, you know, it's like the stork leaving a baby in your hands, except for it's a microwave.
You know, what's so interesting to me is that I think about films and other sort of, you know, media, and you know, it's very much in the sort of like dystopian future type things. It's like these corporations, so like Blade Runner is a good example of this, that are essentially running things, and it's kind of like, oh, what a nightmare, and we're like sliding towards it. We absolutely are, and it seems like there's nothing that can be done to really stop it. You know,
like idiocracy.
Yes, very much so. I was talking about that recently. I was saying that Trump maybe just needs to completely embrace that and start like firing a machine gun into the air at like his rallies and stuff like that.
That's funny. He said something along the lines of like, I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue and no one would do anything. And I was just on Fifth Avenue and I was like, you totally could. No one would do anything. No one would do anything.
It's probably some people to shake his hand.
Yeah.
Like, I think The Boys was really good because they kind of played with that a little bit, and like one of the characters essentially lasered somebody in the brain in the street, kind of got away with it. Yeah.
Dystopian
ain't the
future.
World fun?
I know. It's like, well, and it is not. It is not. It's a little scary.
It is.
And I'm like, this is the first time I'm gonna experience this in like 6 years.
Okay.
And then the other,
Godspeed.
but it's like, I know, but like the last time we did Christmas at home was during COVID, so that didn't count. That doesn't count.
No. Good luck. What's nice, like, and I really have to say, with Christmas, I've really went through times when I have really genuinely enjoyed the season. Like, I am in a dark period these days, but like it has risen and fall. It has seen a rise and a fall, and I still love the lead up to Christmas. Like, my weekends are packed, and I'm doing things with friends that I'm really excited for. So like, I'm really looking forward to, and I also have a trip after. So, you know, there are good things coming. You know,
you told me, but I forgot. We haven't talked. What are you doing?
I go to Scotland.
Oh, right. Okay.
So same thing I did last year.
Yep. You did tell me that. Yeah, my mom was like, would you ever go to Scotland? And I was like, yeah. Probably.
Was she thinking about it?
Well, she went like the week before I came and saw you.
Oh,
so
yes.
She liked it, and she was like, would you ever go? And I'm like, I mean, I'm sure Andy would take me.
Absolutely. Freaking love Scotland. Yeah, rules over there. I think you'd love it. Like, it's very similar to Northern Ireland, I think, in a lot of ways. But yeah, it's cool. I love it. And a lot of we have listeners from Scotland. Hi folks.
Hey.
So yeah, it rules up there.
I love Ben and Donner.
Okay, do we have anything else? Should we leave them with like a happy note? I mean, like, as much as like I am, you know, King Depression, and I'll find the depressive aspects of it, of anything. I also, as much as I think why I'm not completely insane is that I do genuinely love people in this world, and and even though the season I'm talking about, Black Friday, the whole lead up to Christmas can be tough, like I was saying, the events that I have planned with the people that I love are what makes it special. Whether we're spending money or not. So those are the things that kind of give me
You're so
hope.
sweet that you want to end this on a kind, happy note.
Yeah. I just
and I'm like, humanity is doomed.
I mean, that's what I say. That's what I not so secretly think. But I also was like, but yeah. So let's rewind that. Let's not do the humanity is doomed thing. Let's think about the friends in our lives.
It's right, but I guess it's like the time. It's the most wonderful time of the year.
It is.
I think if we do it right, buy the thing. Don't buy all the things. Buy a few.
Yeah.
Remember the 5 R's: reuse, rewear, recycle, repair, and resell.
Yes.
I
like it.
I know, but focus on the people in your lives.
Yes.
Focus on the experiences that you're having, and then the rest will come. Or you could always just not spend money on Black Friday.
Yeah.
And wait until Cyber Monday.
Cyber Monday. That's next week's episode.
That's right.
All right. Okay. So I think time to move on to our favorite section. We're going to end on a happy note because we're talking about what's been bringing us joy over the past week. So Beth,
I went and saw Wicked.
Nice.
Yeah, I saw it on Broadway. Probably 15 years ago. So it wasn't the original cast.
Okay.
But it was like it was amazing. And like the people that were playing the roles have gone on to do a lot of movie work. I didn't like it as much as I liked the Broadway show.
Okay. It's only half of the Broadway show, correct?
It's like, it was a 2-hour and 40-minute movie, so I don't.
Jeez.
It's like there's still more story, but not that much. So I don't know how they're gonna Yeah. I kind of like. I would have made some different casting choices. It did bring me joy.
Ooh.
But yeah.
Who would you get out of there?
Ariana Grande.
Yeah, I know. I think a lot of people are not crazy about her.
It's just she doesn't play it funny. I mean, she tries, but it's like the Broadway, like the way I guess it doesn't really translate as well to the screen as I thought it would. And then I was like, maybe it's because of who they cast. And then I was like, maybe you're right, Beth, because you're always right. So anyways, it was fun. It was great. It was fun. It was cute to see the kids super excited about it. Yeah. And then Charlie was like, I'm bored. And Harper was like, I'm so emotional. So it was all the things.
Gamut of emotions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to see it tomorrow night. So
I just love, I love going to the movies. And
Me too.
I love the previews. And I will watch the commercials and I will sit there for all of it. And do you guys have AMC?
I know, but I'm aware of what it is.
Okay, so there's this commercial for AMC theaters that Nicole Kidman does, and she's wearing a suit. So yeah, so they're still playing that, and it's I do I'll watch a preview or something will happen, and I'm just I'll turn to Harper and be like, "Do you feel that?" And she's like, "Yes," and I'm like, "That's why we come to the movies."
Yes.
So that's why we spent $70 to see Wicked at the theaters.
I completely agree, and I honestly even that movie I was talking about at the start of the episode, The Raid, seeing it in a room full of people and then reacting to that movie was I love this shit. There's nothing else like it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, so I'm going to see it tomorrow, so I'll be, and this will be my first experience with Wicked. I understand vaguely what the story is, but I don't. That's so it'll be interesting to see what I make of it. This isn't what's bringing me joy, but I want to talk about it. I did see Gladiator 2.
Okay. And?
So.
That's what I really wanted to see, but
there's one of the podcasts I listen to, bang on about it all the time, talks about movies having rocks in their brains. That movie has rocks for brains. It's ludicrous. It's like really stupid, and like just character motivations and all this sorts of shit, and like it's all over the fucking map. But the action scenes are great. So like that's what I went, and I think I came out of it quite vaguely positive because I enjoyed the action scenes. Denzel was great.
I heard he was amazing.
Paul Mescal has a thankless task of basically doing essentially a what do you call him, Russell Crowe impression. Mm-hmm. So like I kind of feel bad for him a little bit. He's fine, but he's got a shit task ahead of him, you know. But that movie's fine. It's just, you know, very stupid. So yeah. Anyway, what has been bringing me joy, and this is kind of relevant. I know you have been talking about this. I've been playing a lot of the Oregon Trail.
Ooh.
So it's on the iPad, and I have.
Did you get cholera?
I have had dysentery multiple times.
Yeah.
I've had several broken legs, and I don't think there's been any cholera yet. Because so basically I am the very last leg of this. So there's like 5 legs, and like each of these legs are broken up into like different parts. Sometimes you go like, you know, cross rivers and things like that. And
my oxen were always drowned by the river.
Yeah.
Stupid oxen.
Slightly more forgiving this time around, but it's still like brutal, you know. But I'm cautiously optimistic I'm going to make it through to the end, which is my first complete run. But it's good. So like in this modern version, because we were talking about it earlier, they have tried to be more sympathetic to like the plight of Native Americans and things like that and all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot of those sorts of storylines folded in. But it's good. It's I'm really quite enjoying it, and like just as something that is, you know, compared to the standard kind of video games I play, it's really kind of quite sedate and nice and easy to pick up and do like a few sections and kind of, and also I just kind of love managing all my guys' sorts of, you know, health, their mental state and things like that. So like multiple of my guys have been forlorn, which I guess is depressed, right? Multiple have. I've had an entire party of people being depressed, and I'm like, oh no, they're gonna have a fight soon. But yeah, so that's been fun. But yeah, I've been enjoying that a lot.
I love me some Oregon Trail. That was like in school. That was like, okay, you finished your work, you're doing a really good job, you can go play Oregon Trail for 20 minutes on the one computer we had in the classroom. And it was like, yeah. And then your guy dies, and you're like, it's just like, yeah. Always cholera. Always oxen in the river.
Did you ever complete it?
No.
No. Okay.
So, but I think, because I saw it on Amazon and then it was gone. And then Mike was like, did you see what was on the Amazon list? And I was like, no. And then I was like, what's he talking about? And then I was like, oh no, I saw the Oregon Trail. So I think he bought it for me for Christmas.
Hell yeah.
For the Nintendo Switch. So I'm hoping that's going to happen.
Yeah.
On Christmas.
Exciting.
I know. Maybe, he got a deal on it. I don't know. It's a joke for Black Friday. I feel like Wicked wasn't joyful at all. So I'm going to say.
Oh, really?
No, like, I feel like I was like, I saw Wicked bringing me joy. And then I was like, it was not what I didn't like it. I will say New York City brought me so much fucking joy.
Good.
Just being there, being in the streets, like navigating the subway. I went to the Met. I saw one of my favorite paintings in the world. I just like walked in. I didn't even know they had it. It's called the Gulf Stream. It's really great. And just like going to see, Broadway shows are just like, I miss musical theater so fucking much. Yeah. So I'm just like walking around singing the Book of Mormon. It was so good. So it really did bring me a lot of joy. And I didn't know if I was going to talk about this or not, but my mom brought some of my dad's ashes. Oh. And so I put some of my dad went off the Staten Island ferry, and some of my dad is now up in the cloisters in a museum. Well, I broke the law twice.
Yeah.
And now I have some of them. My mom gave me some of his ashes, so I have some of them here. So it was nice.
That's lovely.
Yeah, it did bring me joy and sorrow, but you know those two things can live together. So
they often do. Yeah. I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
That's a nice way to end things, I think. So, Beth, would you like to tell everybody where they can find us?
Yeah, we're going to have a Black
like
Friday sale on our merch. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Don't spend money on Friday. But you can find us at bendypodcast.com. If you want to do something awesome and nice and that doesn't cost money, just leave us a review. That would be amazing.
Yeah. Subscribe, all those sorts of things. We love it.
It's free.
All right, folks. It is free, right? Give a gift to yourself.
Right.
And also, maybe if you have like somebody else's phone in your hand, just subscribe them to the podcast as well. Give them a little gift too, right?
Yeah. Your mom and dad. Take their phones.
Yeah. All right, awesome. Okay, folks. In that case, as always, we'd like to remind you to stay bendy. That's a good one.
I know.
Done one in a while.
I feel like we need to make a musical theater ending.
All right, we'll plan that. It'll be a secret.
Okay.
All right, love you. Bye.
Bye.